During Matt's first year of residency, we decided that we were ready to have our second child, so we had scheduled our finances and okay, we can afford a baby B this time. So in January, we found out I was going to have a baby, and I went for my first OB appointment, which happened to be on my 30th birthday. And Matt couldn't make it. He was in a very big meeting, basically to see how he was doing in residency, if he was going to make it or not. So he was a little busy. So I go up to the appointment, and we'd been this through before with our first daughter, and they decided to do an ultrasound just because, and the doctor had a strange look on her face, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's the matter? And she was like, nothing, I just see 2 babies. And I was just shocked and happy and thrilled because I've always wanted twins, and I was just so excited. I went downstairs where Matt was after the ultrasound and showed him the picture, and he was just, they pulled him out of the meeting, and he's just already nervous because of the meeting, and he sees the picture, and he was just like, oh.
I was in shock.
He was in shock. Big shock.
I was getting, getting evaluated and told if you're going to make it or not, and I was kind of nervous about that, and so pretty stressed out, and then she shows me this picture, and they're like, look, what do you see? And I was looking at that going, man, I don't know. I couldn't even think. And they told me it was twins, and I felt the same thing. I mean, I was excited, and I was scared and nervous all at once, and I think it definitely showed on my face. Everyone in the room was like, okay, give him a minute. He's going to adjust to that. But it was an exciting and scary thought both for us because, we had planned for one. There were a lot of extra things you have to think about with twins. Our car was already too small. Now all of a sudden that we had, and our finances that we thought we'd set aside were not going to be enough, so we had to go back to the books and look what we were going to do next. And there's a lot of planning that goes along with the excitement of having twins, which we were both. I mean, that was one of the coolest things we could have ever had, so we were excited about it.
Yeah, after I got home that night, we realized I was going to have to quit my job because 3 children in childcare on a teacher salary is just not doable. So I had to go and quit my job, and but the pregnancy was great. It was very easy, never on bed rest. And then that August we delivered and had Michael. We had a boy and a girl, which was so exciting to have one of each. And Michael came out first. And he had a little difficulty breathing when he came out, so the nurses were with him. And then Madison came out, and she was just so itty bitty, but doing great and strong. But Michael just still really couldn't catch his breath. So as I'm in the recovery room, they decided to send Michael to another hospital for children at the Children's Hospital. And I only got to see my son for like a minute on his birthday, and so that's hard. And all of our parents were there, so we had all parents and aunts and everybody there. And just as they're about to med flight my newborn son, to a different hospital, we're all in there just praying and crying. And Matt and his dad drove over to meet Michael at the other hospital. Well, my parents stayed with me because I was recovering from a C-section and then the new baby. And then another person was there, thank goodness, to take care of our oldest daughter, Rachel. So we had just so much support and love and just prayers as we're going through this. And it was a new walk. And Michael actually ended up having to be at NICU for 2 weeks. So we would.
It was a scary time. It was exciting. And I had the feeling the entire time from the time that he was born, and even amidst all this, that he was going to be just fine, but at the same time there's always that doubt in the back of your mind, and we were really worried about it quite a bit. In the end, luckily he kind of just needed a little bit extra time, and he recovered, and we were able to take him home, and it was an exciting day when we got both of the twins home, and they were there together, and brother and sister. And it was really neat to watch as he was there in the hospital. Even when we bring Madison up, his vitals would improve. He would look better. He would act better. His breathing would be easier, and he would rest. And so you could tell that those two were just meant to be together, and they had a special bond from the beginning. And it was really neat as parents to watch, our new kids come into the world, and amidst all the stress and concerns we had at different times, it was still a very joyous occasion.
And when we brought him home, we had a 3.5-year-old and 2 newborn twins and no sleep. Because unlike just one baby at home, when the baby cries in the middle of the night, you just take turns. Okay, I'll get up this time, you get up. Well, with twins, you both have to get up, and one person has to feed, the other one has to feed the other one, and then switch, and so you're both up, lack of sleep, and then you have this toddler that's like, "Mommy, play." So it was stressful, and then the finances. We had to, go on different, state-funded programs to kind of help us get through, which was a new thing for us, and we had to walk through that and struggle with that. But we never went without. God always provided, and it was like, how did we make it through this month? How did we get your check to stretch so quick and so long? And He always took care of us. Always, and that was a huge blessing. And you just really you see God's work in hand, going, it's okay. I gave you these blessings, and I'm going to take care of you. Yeah.